Alright guys, welcome back to the Wrestling Rundown. It's time for that midweek wrap-up where we talk about all the stuff that happens Tuesday through Thursday. But this being Christmas week, there wasn't a lot that happened in the midweek.
No, it was kind of like last week where we had a lack of main event and superstars.
Yeah.
This week we have a lack of NXT and Lucha Underground.
Yeah, Lucha Underground will not be returning until January 7th, where I believe is where they're going to be doing Aztec Warfare to determine the first Lucha Underground heavyweight champion.
It's going to be like the Royal Rumble, but much more exciting on the inside.
And NXT was mostly a recap show, but we did get the rematch for the Women's Championship. But we're going to start with the main event like we usually do.
Main event.
We open up with a rematch from last week's Superstars. We had the Matadors taking on the team now known as the Masters, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, with Natalya looking unbelievably hot in that black outfit. The boots, the shorts, the sheer top. Damn, I was already in the main event as soon as they came out.
As soon as he saw Cesaro's glistening head. His is way shinier.
Yeah, I know.
It's way balder.
Yes. Well, I'm getting lazy.
Your head looks like the fuzz is the consistency of one of those posters kids color. Those felt posters.
Anyway, so I touted the match last week from Superstars.
Yeah.
This one was still good, not as good.
Not quite as good. Some of the stuff isn't quite as fresh as last week.
Yes.
So they, reusing some of the spots, which happens when any match re-happens. Some spots get reused. So, it's 99.9% of the time the rematch is never going to be as good as the original.
Yeah.
It's like a sequel.
But the Masters still pulling out some really awesome double teams. We had the slingshot into the European uppercut. There was the Tyson Kidd did a spin kick into Cesaro's German suplex.
Yes.
There was still some awesome stuff. The Masters would get the win after there was one of the Matadors ran at Cesaro. Cesaro kind of tossed him over his head, almost leapfrog style, into a knee from Tyson, setting up for the double team finish, the blockbuster.
Out of the Ricola Bomb.
Yeah, good God. I am enjoying Tyson Kidd and Cesaro as a tag team so much.
Yes.
Because for them being a throw-together team, we talked about this last week, for them being a throw-together team, they are coming up with more innovative stuff than some of the tag teams that have been together for months at this point. And I am completely blown away by what these two can do.
Yeah. It makes me want the Usos to take the titles off of Miz and Mizdow so they can feud with these guys.
Those two teams would have amazing matches.
I mean, I want to see Miz and Mizdow keep the belts because it'll keep some spotlight on Damien Mizdow.
True.
But at the same time, I want to see Usos versus the Masters.
I would be okay, it'd be interesting to see if, maybe the Masters take the titles off of the Moneymakers and then start running a feud against the Usos.
Yeah. Or, I wouldn't mind to see these guys go in, number one contenders match.
Yeah.
I think WWE's losing the art of the number one contenders match. Especially for any title that's not, the top title. Top title gets a lot of number one contenders matches.
But
not so much with Lesnar wearing the belt. Yeah. But it seems like you get the only profile of number one contenders matches are for the top title.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them maybe they'll mention, if so-and-so beats so-and-so, that could put them in contention for the Intercontinental title or something. But, you don't rarely ever get they're going to have Dolph Ziggler versus John Morrison number one contenders match for the European title.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they've specifically said, number one contender for the tag team titles or number one contender for the U.S. title. I agree. They're definitely losing the art of, to place those specific matches so we know.
Yeah.
Speaking of tag teams, we had the New Day talking to Renee in the backstage area. You know, Big E was taking the forefront of this promo at first, saying, you know, every time we run into Golden Stardust, you know, we have these runs, but we keep moving forward. We're not looking in the past. We're looking towards the future. This is the New Day, and then in the midst of the promo, the monitor behind them is hijacked by Golden Stardust,
who open it like it's a present.
Yeah, and it's bizarre, and they say a few lines I've got here. Cynicism is the new positivity. You know, the New Day is all about the positive attitude. New Day.
I'll kind of agree with that comment, though.
Yeah?
Yeah. There are a lot more cynical people than there are positive people nowadays.
This is true.
Myself included.
Yeah. It's a problem.
TV shows are funnier that way now, too.
Very true. New Day, same hypocrisy. So...
I think there's some racial tie-in there somewhere.
And then, finally, this isn't science fiction, it's science fact.
I'm fairly certain they've used that one before.
Yes.
It's the new cosmic assholes catchphrase.
Well, it's from Thor. They said that, Thor. The first one, from like 2011.
Sure.
But we end the vignette, or the promo with the New Day kind of confused as to what exactly they just saw. I don't know how long...
Stardust hisses into the box.
I don't know how long they can keep this feud going and keep it interesting.
Not much longer.
Especially with the fact that neither team has the tag titles.
No.
There's nothing special about this, and there was like no build up to it for them to all of a sudden have issues with the New Day. It was just all of a sudden they're like claiming war.
Yeah, well...
Oh, wait, we're watching WWE.
There's never really a rationale to what Gold and Stardust are doing, though.
Fair enough.
And even if there is, you have to sit through 8 promos to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get to promos when we get to SmackDown. Fucking weird. And then our next match, we had Divas Action, who I didn't know who to cheer for. We had Brie Bella taking on Summer Rae.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was...
I was trying to figure out why this match was happening.
I didn't understand.
Because with Brie and Nikki getting back together, they've been playing heel, especially with Brie cheating on behalf of Nikki in the last 2 main title matches.
Yeah.
And Summer Rae has never been endeared as a fan favorite at all.
Well, and especially as of late, she's been put against Emma.
Yeah, Emma and AJ.
Yeah.
And,
I mean... I didn't like the match myself. Honestly, my note is the match sucked until Nikki ripped her shirt off at the end. Which she did. Like, as soon as Brie got the 3 count, she ripped her shirt off.
I don't know. I thought it was a decent match.
I don't know. It felt clumsy to me.
It was a little strange. The only spot to me that was out of place is I feel like Summer completely whiffed a spin kick and Brie sold it. Other than that, I thought they were pretty well on. Very physical.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
They were very, very physical.
Yeah, they didn't hold back at all, but I don't know. It just didn't.
I just chalk it up to lack of chemistry. These guys haven't had tons of matches against each other so far.
That's true.
So first time meetings don't usually go super smooth.
Yeah.
And point in case being like Stardust and Goldust versus the Matadors. First time we watched that, we were like, and then the match got, every time they went against each other, the matches got better and better and better, until that they turned into great matches.
Yeah. And then coming off of the interesting promo that we had earlier, we had a singles match, Big E taking on Stardust.
Mm-hmm.
Goldust had a cool new jacket with spikes on it and studs and all kinds of stuff. It looked really cool. This was a good match. It was a cool conflicting styles.
Yeah.
Obviously, a huge size difference between Big E and Stardust.
Stardust being a giant and Big E kind of being a luchador.
Yeah. I mean, Big E was like really distracting with all of the flips and the craziness.
He's about 5'8", 210 pounds. Stardust is 6'10".
No, that's Xavier Woods. We're wrong New Day member.
Oh,
this Big E. He's the
black version of Ted Arcidi.
Who?
Look him up on the network.
It was Rye Black.
He was in the Solberg. He was in the freaking WrestleMania Battle Royal, WrestleMania 2.
Sure.
Ted Arcidi. He was the world's strongest man prior to Mark Henry.
Oh, okay.
Or WWE's world's strongest man prior to Mark Henry.
Gotcha.
He's just another big dude with a mullet, I think. He had a mullet going on.
And most people back then had mullets.
Kind of looked like jacked up tugboat.
Big E would get the win. It was a really interesting finish here. Goldust gets knocked down. He's like trying to cause a distraction for Stardust.
Yeah,
gets knocked down. Stardust is on the top rope getting ready to jump on Big E. And
Goldust uses the top rope to pull himself back up.
And it knocks down Stardust, and Stardust gets picked up for the big ending. Big E hits it, gets the win. I thought it was really weird for Goldust to inadvertently screw over Stardust.
Well, we started talking about it right before we started filming. This could be a lead-in to splitting up the Brothers Dust.
That's another thing we'll talk about when we get to the SmackDown rundown.
The Brothers Dust.
Now,
that's my new thing.
Now we get to the main event. Now there's two things that I'm going to read here.
In the main event, which are the people.
Yeah.
Two people in the main event.
Yeah.
They're people, not things. Jesus. Have feelings.
Well, there's two very important things that were talked about during the commentary.
Yeah.
For the main event. They were talking about Big Show versus Roman Reigns on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Cole is very distraught about the bunny being destroyed by Adam Rose.
Yes.
The match is Luke Harper versus Jack Swagger.
Yes.
What the fuck? This was legitimately pissing me off. I almost turned main event off. Because I was like, what? None of those four are even remotely connected to these two. The closest you get is that Luke Harper and fucking Big Show were in the Survivor Series main event a month and a half ago.
It's the terrible idea that WWE feels that they have to make sure every storyline stays relevant at the expense of what's going on in the ring.
Yeah. Like, towards the end of their random conversation, there was a close-up of Luke Harper's face where he was obviously talking to the referee, but he was, like, all, like, doing his whacked-out look, and then he went, shut up. And then they stopped talking about it, and I was like, that was perfect! It was like, psychically, he told them to shut the hell up, and they stopped talking about the random stuff. It was a good match. I was literally taken out of most of it because of the commentary. I couldn't...
Yeah, I started, like, noticing what you were talking about on the commentary.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was just interested to see, like, to my recollection, the first one-on-one encounter between Harper and Swagger.
Yeah, and it was a very physical match. Both were, like, just using, like, all of their power against each other, which was really great. Swagger's known for the high-angle slams, the power slams, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Harper, he's got those, the boots and those big clotheslines, and, even he's been pulling out some big power moves as far as slams and stuff. Luke Harper would get the win with a discus clothesline.
As Swagger was, like, sliding back in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. So, Swagger's back on kind of a losing streak. Maybe due to Zeb being gone.
Probably due to Zeb being gone.
So, that's...
But there's Harper winning over there, too.
He's getting Undertaker to tap out. But that was it for main event. As we said, Lucha Underground doesn't return until January 7th, so
I'm going to be distraught until Lucha Underground comes back. in a week and a half.
This was a rough week because both of our favorite shows were like almost non-existent.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Superstars. We opened up with Titus O'Neil versus Justin Gabriel. The match was decent. It wasn't Titus O'Neil's worst match, but there wasn't really anything that stood out to me. It was just a match. Like, there was nothing there. Like, Titus didn't do anything to, like, well, other than being Titus, didn't do anything extra to piss me off. It was just... It was a match. Titus O'Neil won with the Clash of the Titus. That's about it.
The one thing I want to note is that Titus O'Neil gets blown up really fast.
We knew that when he was facing like Sami Zayn on NXT.
I know.
WWE
needs to stop pairing him with guys like Justin Gabriel.
Yeah, it was
thrive in fast-paced environments.
It was a clash of styles that did not work at all, especially because Titus O'Neil gets blown up so easy.
And then, especially because Titus O'Neil is Titus O'Neil.
That too. But then our main event, we had Cesaro taking on Eric Rowan.
And my main event, I'm taking on this Andy's Mint.
Now, Eric Rowan continues to look better in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they're pairing him against great workers. He had an awesome match against Kane last week. He's been having, some pretty good matches on Raw. But this match against Cesaro, he looks like specifically strong.
Yeah, I credit it to two matches specifically. The Stairs match with Big Show and that match with Kane that you were referencing.
Yeah.
Because these are two very experienced guys who are also big guys like Rowan.
Yeah.
So anybody can be like, hey, impart some big bald guy knowledge onto Rowan. It'd be Big Show and Kane.
It's true. There was Cesaro pulled off the Cesaro swing
for the first time in a while.
On Eric Rowan.
One, I guess.
Got about 4 rotations on him before dropping him. And then Renee said that Cesaro trains by swinging a 350-pound sandbag. And I thought...
Alex Riley's put on weight.
I thought Alex Riley's a very trim 350 pounds.
That's why they don't show the NXT commentary team on camera anymore.
Because he's fat.
Is over there doing commentary, gorging himself on donuts.
Yeah, Rowan's in-ring, like, his moves in general are looking better.
Mm-hmm. His presence, too.
Yeah. I love his pump handle backbreaker. I think that's an awesome move. The full Nelson slam as a finisher is good. I'm really, I don't know. I'm waiting for him.
Very early test years.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to pick that one move though.
Yeah, we've had a couple different Rowan wins in the last couple weeks, all with different finishes.
Yeah, I guess that's not a bad thing because we never really know how it's going to end.
Yeah, and he's still fine. Like, this thing too is Rowan is still finding himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
As the character, because I think of like really looking at the three man groups that we had that were really dominant last year / beginning of this year. Shield, really, neither guy had like here's their big finish during their matches, except we all knew they had the triple powerbomb thing.
Yeah.
And then as they start to separate a little bit, then we get to see their individual moves. Same thing with the Wyatt family, where really all we saw was Sister Abigail.
Yes.
As the finishing move.
Yeah, there was less differential in the Wyatt family than there was in the Shield.
And then we kind of started seeing like they would bring in Harper as a finisher, especially when they started pairing Harper and Rowan in a lot of tag team matches.
Yeah.
That it would basically be Harper finishing the match almost every single time.
Yeah, Rowan kind of ran the couple of tag spots every now and again, but then most of the match was run by Harper.
Yeah. So, with the fact that basically Wyatt and Harper got to finish all their matches, we never really got to see that kind of spot for Eric Rowan.
Yeah. But Eric Rowan gets the win with the full Nelson Slam. Great match. I'm more and more excited for more of Eric Rowan.
I know. I'm not the biggest Eric Rowan fan, but I do enjoy seeing him improve, and I'm becoming more and more of an Eric Rowan fan because of the improvements.
Yeah, he's doing good stuff. Then we had NXT, was the best of 2014.
This is a decent little recap.
So, yeah, if you have never seen NXT before, and you don't want to go back to the very beginning, this is a good place to start. We start off by taking a look back at NXT Arrival, which was the very first in-ring action event of the WWE Network. Back in February.
The first live NXT show.
Yeah.
On TV. Network, I guess.
Then we had a little look at Adrian Neville taking a trip back home, surprising his mom.
Ben.
I didn't know that was his real name. And then,
way to break the fourth wall.
Yeah. We got to see where he trained.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see him at the soccer stadium.
A very young picture of him with Kevin Steen.
Yeah, that was bizarre. So this was back when he was still champion. So it was cool to see he got to do all these things. Showing his mom all the success that he was able to do.
All this stuff they filmed is while WWE did their European tour.
Yeah. We had a little message from Tyler Breeze saying Merry Christmas and that in 2015 he'll be adding gold to his ensemble. So could we be seeing Prince Pretty as NXT champion in 2015?
I bet you could.
I would like to see it. We got to look back at the Zayn and Neville match from Our Evolution and the fallout with Kevin Owens. Curtis Axel wants into NXT.
Interesting.
I'm okay with that because I'm a Curtis Axel fan, and to see him put on the A show, I'm excited for that too. We got to look back at the Lucha Dragons versus the Vaudevillains. I finally got to see the fact that Aiden English was in fact the legal man in that match. Brilliant.
Good match working.
Absolutely.
We had two different little montages of NXT debuts.
Well, that was later in the show.
And NXT graduates.
Yeah, the new players in NXT, we got to see Corbin and Dempsey, Itami, Baylor, and Owens all kind of get their respective debuts and a little bit of vignette kind of stuff going on. And then we got to see the graduates from NXT. We got to see Paige, Bo Dallas, Emma, Summer Rae, Adam Rose, Rusev, and Lana.
Yes.
So, I didn't realize until that many people from NXT had moved up to the main roster.
Absolutely.
They've done a really good job of integrating themselves into the main roster that I kind of forgot that they were NXT guys.
And they forgot, but I heard there was going to be a montage of Titus O'Neil and Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel and all the other people and RVD who came from the main roster to try and join NXT. It's not true. I just made that up.
Tyson Kidd is the only one that did that successfully.
Yeah.
Then we get the note that next week we're getting the rematch between Itami and Baylor taking on the Ascension.
Which is interesting because on Raw and later this week on SmackDown, we get the vignette saying that next week the Ascension are going to be debuting on the main roster.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if we're going to see another hard-hitting match like we did at Our Evolution, or if we're going to get a squash match of some kind. Maybe, I don't know. It's because I know when the Wyatt family was their last show on NXT, they had a match. They were really dominant. They got our promo, and then they were gone from NXT. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with the Ascension and whether or not it's going to screw up their jump to the main roster.
I don't think anything they're going to do on NXT will screw up their jump to the main roster, just because we all know NXT is pre-recorded weeks in advance.
True.
And that they don't really do a lot of crossing over. Or, hey, what happened on NXT plays effect into main rostery stuff.
True. It is kind of it is two different worlds.
It's interesting though to know that an NXT team is getting called up to the main roster on the same week that they're going to be having another hyped up rematch.
Yeah.
On the NXT show.
Let me get Tommy and Balor talking about their match against the Ascension. Pretty much kind of reiterating the you want to face us again.
We'll beat you again.
That's what we're gonna do. We get Owens talking about they ask him, is there a message you're trying to send? Like, what's your message to the NXT roster? And he says, you want a message? Like, well, let's look at it this way. In 7 days, I put not only the former champion Adrian Neville in the hospital, but also the current champion Sami Zayn in the hospital as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that in its own right is a message. His message simply is he'll fight anyone and everyone until he's the last man standing.
Put that on a t-shirt.
They should. I would buy that t-shirt.
He told him to.
I know he did. We get the new commentary guy. I can't remember. I can never remember his name.
He is, oh gosh.
I never remember his name, ever. He's just extra NXT guy.
Guy who I think looks like Tony with glasses.
Yes. Anyway, he meets up with Bailey. Bailey is watching...
Adam Rich, or something like that.
Sure. Bailey's watching the Triple H DVD, Thy Kingdom Come.
Yeah, Adam Richmond.
That sounds about right. And she's attributing her knee injury to Triple H blowing at his quad. That knee injury. I'm at this part where he just hurt himself. He's coming back. He's bigger. He's stronger, and now he's
part where he injured the knee of his quad.
The knee of his quad. And so she's saying that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna train. She's gonna make sure she comes back.
He's gonna come back looking like Triple H.
That would scare me. Like, can you imagine happy-go-lucky Bailey who always wants hugs, looking like Triple H?
What it's gonna be is Triple H is just gonna come out in Bailey's ring gear and have a couple matches against Charlotte and Sasha.
That kind of made me want to throw up.
I think the idea would be kind of funny, actually. To watch Triple H act like Bailey would be funny.
It would scare me. And then we get our one and only match. I'm glad it wasn't just a full recap show. We get our rematch from our Evolution for the Women's Championship. Charlotte has Flair in her corner. Sasha's got Becky Lynch in her corner. Flair even kind of
give her a pseudo introduction.
Yeah, well, and he even talked up Sasha. Both the girls having the best match. That's one of the best matches that's happened in WWE in a long time.
Yeah.
But Sasha, you were good, but you weren't that good because the best diva in WWE is my daughter Charlotte. Charlotte comes out. This was a phenomenal...
What I liked the emphasis Ric Flair put on is that their match and on Charlotte was he made sure to mention not just in NXT.
Yeah, but in WWE.
Yeah, their match was one of the best that WWE had put on in a long time. And that Charlotte's not only the best diva in NXT, but the best diva in WWE.
I would not argue that point.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's playing daddy favoritism, but at the same time, that's a hard one to argue against.
His daughter is damn talented. These two women put on an awesome sequel match. They kind of hit a bunch of spots that they did in their R Evolution match. Mm-hmm. I'm glad Sasha finally got to pull off the superplex.
Yeah. What I liked is I saw a lot of, here's a spot that we did at R Evolution, and then here's the alternate version of the same thing.
Yeah.
Where, say, if in R Evolution, if somebody reversed a move, this go around, that person got to do that move. Vice versa. Yeah. This person tried a move they tried at R Evolution, but the opponent had a counter for it.
Yeah. Sasha got to pull off the bankrupt again. Yeah, both girls are just so good. And
looking.
That too. There wasn't any outside interference from either Flair.
No, there was some inside interference. Sasha yelled at Ric Flair.
And then Charlotte goes, "Don't you ever yell at my dad like that." And then proceeded to whoop the shit out of her a little bit more.
Sasha ate Charlotte's foot.
Yeah, their little
foot in the
corner spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sasha with the double knees. That's a messed up move.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look fun at all. Just these two have awesome chemistry. Makes me hopeful for the main roster because a lot of the main roster isn't being used to their full potential.
Yeah.
Charlotte would end up retaining the championship again, getting the figure 4, but then adding a bridge to it to where Sasha couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they didn't end the match the same way that our Evolution ended made the match even better because we didn't get a rehash ending. We didn't get anything rehashed. We had everything kind of switched up, and it wasn't quite as long, but it was still satisfying.
Yeah, it was fresh.
Which is something we don't get on the main roster a lot.
It's like good produce.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fresh and organic.
Yeah, organic doesn't really mean much to me.
Fine.
But that was it for the midweek wrap-up. Just kind of some random notes to hit on. Yeah,
not too much happened.
It's weird not having NXT and Lucha Underground. There's not a lot to...
Yeah. I think Rowan might have been the star of the week for midweek.
I think so.
And the NXT ladies.
Yes. Rowan, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Shout out to Becky Lynch, too.
Yeah.
You are still my other favorite.
But that is it for the midweek wrap-up. We got the SmackDown Rundown coming up. Be sure to check out the playlist over on the other side of Kevin Hawk there. We got the Raw Review.
Oh,
we got the Indie News.
What's up, playlist?
Check out the Indie News. We have an awesome 5 matches not to miss.
How you doing?
IWA Mid-South. We've got the results from 2 results from 2 awesome indie shows that happened just this weekend, and a whole bunch more. We've got the SmackDown Rundown coming up, so let the playlist keep playing, and it should go to that one. Maybe? Let's wait and see. Oh, we got Streak Week also.
Streak Week.
Kevin Hawk's pick this week. Another awesome choice.
Mm-hmm.
So
that guy.
Be sure to check that out. Let the playlist keep playing. All the information down in the description. Like, favorite, subscribe, comment. Follow us on everything that we have.
Follow us home from work.
That would make you a stalker. We will see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Bye.